We're here live in the podcast studio with Cris Strong. This is Anthony Garibay. And so Cris does something really interesting. And, you know, I didn't know much about it before. So we'll just say this is a beginner podcast. And how you doing, Cris?
Doing good.
Good, man. So you're right here in Canyon Lake, California.
Correct, yeah.
Right? And had an office here in the Canyon Lake Town Center. Probably going to be getting one again, right?
Yep.
Had a baby and
Yep. Got married.
Nice.
So
congratulations
time
twice.
off from here. Yeah.
That's great. Right on.
Yep.
So tell us about what you do. 3D scanning, is that what would it be called?
Yeah. So our company specializes in 3D scanning, 3D printing.
Okay.
The idea is basically taking any real world object,
All right.
bring it into a 3D realm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And then so you want to hold that up to the camera, like check out, this is Cris right here. This is a real live, it's a printing, I mean, but it's 3D. There it is. You see it.
Yeah. So this is more of the fun stuff that we get to do.
Yeah.
So basically we use a camera based scanner and it takes pictures, probably about 20 pictures a second.
Okay.
And then based off of the geometry and color of the object or the person, it creates a 3D image. And then from here, we can print this out. It uses a gypsum powder, basically like a bath of powder that just gets printed layer by layer with some color and glue.
Wow.
And then it creates basically like a little mini-me figurine of yourself.
And I was, commenting earlier on the wrinkles on the shirt you can see in pants. I mean, this is like real life. Like, this is really awesome stuff.
Yeah, really high detail. I mean, if you look at the football, you can actually see the Wilson writing on there. And it can be used just for fun.
Yeah.
My wife and I did it for our wedding cake.
Okay.
So there's me and her, and then we actually have our dogs.
Okay.
Because we're those dog people.
Right.
So we had these on our wedding cake, and it was used for fun.
That's cool. Yeah.
Type of thing. But people also use these for a lot of different other applications for just printing them out, and you can do anything from people to like buildings, and then you have a visualization of. If you're a city planner, you can create, houses and toilets and fire hydrants and things like that. And you have a full visualization versus the old school way of the cardboard or the wood and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were talking a little bit about movies and doing some special effects and whatnot. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So the idea behind it is, we can scan actors or we can scan props. It can be used in movies or video games.
Yeah.
You might see something being thrown, like a book or something being thrown from like an actor, and it's flying through the air. Well,
yeah.
Actually, it's not really flying through the air. It's actually it's a digital replica, and it's going through the air, and then whatever they do with it, it hits a wall or blows up or something like that.
Nice.
But the client might want something that's like exact, right? They don't want something that was someone made up. They want the exact thing of that. And then for the movie, for like people, we can scan actors, and then that actor can talk or it can move, right? And we kind of are seeing that right now in this whole world of AI.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into the AI.
Yeah, it's insane. I've been doing this for 13 years, and literally every day I come in, I'm amazed or I'm surprised. Something new, and I'm like, oh my God, it's cool. So,
any movies that you've actually been a part of or done or seen up close?
Yeah, there's a few that we can't talk about.
Yeah.
There's a few that, from some of the stuff that we've done or some other things that have been done, with like Spider-Man, Superman, Pokemon. There's been a few other movies that, unfortunately, we can't talk about because we have NDAs and things.
Are they on the Disney? Are they WB? Pretty big.
Yeah, some blockbuster stuff.
Yeah.
A little while back, I actually got to do something like this. We worked on The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
So I got to scan Howard and Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And then we created 3D images of them, and we got to work on the show and talk about 3D scanning and 3D printing.
Oh, wow.
And this was like 5 or 6 years ago. So this was kind of the new coming of 3D scanning.
Wow.
Where most people didn't even know what it was about.
Yeah.
But it's cool because I still watch reruns, and I'm like, hey, there's our figurines.
Nice. Yeah,
so
for sure.
That was really fun.
That's cool. Yeah. So you're on the forefront of things, and then going into AI, I'm sure, you're probably coming up with all kinds of cool ideas maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there's, almost when you're working with either actors or people scanning people, you know, once that person's scanned,
Yeah.
you know, it's scary because they can just be like, all right, I'm done,
Yeah.
head out, and you can basically make them do everything, right?
Okay.
You know, visually talking, moving.
Yeah.
And there's some new applications where, you know, we scan someone and within seconds you can come in and change how they look. You know, if you want them younger or older, you can change their hair, you can give them wrinkles. So basically you can, the idea is, you know, you can change that on a fly.
Wow.
Which is kind of scary because you're taking away, you know, the makeup artist or the actors and things like that.
Yeah.
But also you can recreate a lot of cool stuff.
I remember after Tupac died, they had him on the stage, man, performing, and it looked really real.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh my God, how'd they do that?
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But at that time it was, you know, groundbreaking.
Sure.
And then now what some of the things that they're able to do is just amazing.
Yeah, and imagine to get to that point, to put it to the public, how much they've really done and how long they've known how this, you know, how to do these types of things. And who knows what we're seeing, UFOs or seeing people or presidents on TV. Like, we don't know who's who or what's what anymore.
Yeah, you know, listening to a lot of podcasts and they talk about it too, right? And they go into, you know, like, well, if you can do this, what can you do with it?
Yeah, really.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's a lot of great and positive things, but there's also some things that might be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. You start getting into thinking about like Terminator and, you know, all kinds of crazy movies, you know, you never know.
Yeah.
I've seen some of those robots, man. They look scary.
Yeah.
Soulless.
And real.
Yeah. Right. So who are some of your other clients like that would use your services? Like, how far does it go?
Yeah, I think for what we do, you know, that's a question we get asked all the time. Like, who's your client? What do you do? And I go, well, it's almost everyone. Yeah. You know, so we can work with a aerospace company and, you know, they need to remanufacture a landing gear from a plane that was built a long time ago and they don't actually have the file to remanufacture it, right? Yeah. They might have a 2D drawing or they might just have the actual part. What we can do is we can actually take that part, create a 3D model of it, very accurate within, you know, 0.1 or 0.05 millimeters, where we can actually send it to be remanufactured if it's going through CNC or stamping. Wow. And you can actually now create that part and, you know, put it on a plane or put it on a car. We do a lot of stuff for education, you know, getting young students learning engineering, which has been, you know, I think, you know, that's where our country was built on and it kind of lost for a while. But, you know, things that 10 years ago when I was doing this, you know, I went into the Boeings and the aerospace companies and showing these people, and there was a lot of standoffish ways of that they were doing before. Okay. You know, and now we're going into colleges and high schools and even middle schools where these kids are coming in and having the experience of a, you know, baby boomer. Just from being online and having the information. Yeah, and learning this stuff. So it's really cool because, you know, once they get into high school, they have these tools that they can get into a good college because they know the tools. And once they're in college, basically they're set up for life in an engineering degree. Wow. Which is really great. You know, it's a cool fact to see how these kids are growing and learning a lot of technology. The curve now is amazing. Yeah. The learning curve. I mean, you go online, information, if they're interested, I mean, they can watch it and listen to it all day long. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. It's really cool. We do stuff for medical purposes, orthotics and prosthetics. Okay. Wow. Yeah, probably one of the coolest heartwarming or heart-feeling thing is I have a customer, Dr. Lewin. She's out in Torrance. And what she does is she does reconstructive surgery for kids that were born with microtia. Okay. And microtia is a deformation of the ear. Basically, it's the ear that never like formed correctly. And it could be a slight one. It could be where a kid has kind of just a little piece of an ear or no ear. So what she does is she actually 3D scans the full ear. Yeah. She mirrors it. She creates a 3D print, not like these ones, but medical grade print. And she actually implements it into the ear, or implants it, sorry. Yeah. Where the skin grows around the ear. Wow. And it takes a little bit of time, but the swelling goes down and it actually forms to the skin forms to the 3D print. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
these can be cosmetic,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like the hardest thing as a kid is, there's always people that are bullying, right?
Wow.
If
Yeah.
you're tall, you're skinny,
Any
you're
little
short,
anything.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So think about a kid that only has partial ear or one
Yeah.
ear, that can change their life,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, that really helps with their development. But, there's things where she's actually been able to help that kid actually hear
Yeah.
because of it.
Oh, wow.
And she travels all over the world to do it.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
Yeah.
there's some really good videos of her online that you just, I presented this to my colleagues
Yeah.
all over the U.S. And, we do these case studies where we show like, hey, this is what we're doing and this is how we're helping our customer. And, people always looking. And once I showed them everything, you just see everyone's face kind of just,
Wow. Yeah.
You know.
Everybody, huh?
yeah, and just like,
Oh, yeah. That's as good as it gets right there.
Yeah.
That's cool. So how many of those have you been a part of?
For that application.
Yeah.
Or so right now I'm only with her, but she has colleagues that have kind of implemented the same technology.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And this can be for the ears. We've done stuff for reconstruction of like jaws where people maybe got in accidents or something happened from disease where they've lost part of their body. And
Okay.
we can go in and use our technology, even from CT scans.
Oh, wow.
So you can CT scan like the side of a face and then create a model. A lot of times what they're doing on like that stuff, they're actually 3D printing them in titanium.
Right.
And so then they implant it into the jaw and then reconstruct. And
Reminds me of Face Off, that movie where they like
yeah,
switch faces.
yeah. And you can recreate
Crazy.
like a body,
Wow.
and then, that titanium's strong. It's probably stronger than our body, and
Makes you wonder what the future's going to look like.
yeah.
Do you have any ideas, like anything that you've thought of, any futuristic ideas or ideas that would just help with even the industry you're in or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you take it full spectrum, it can be stuff from like the AI or creating like the fun stuff, you know, and we do a lot of things where you can recreate objects that are non-existent anymore or, they just don't make them
Yeah.
to, this technology using for the ear or the jaw. But the titanium, the metal 3D printing is really big right now.
Okay.
Because a lot of them you can make one-offs, right? So typically when you're manufacturing something, the time investment, casting, making molds is very expensive, right?
Yeah.
So here I can make something like on the fly.
Okay.
And, they're doing it for back surgery. So the disc that they put into the back to kind of help stabilize it is from 3D prints.
Wow.
And they're shaving bones inside of that and it recreates and goes around the titanium.
Amazing.
So it makes that bone even stronger. But even Boeing, like on a different aspect, is using 3D printing to actually print out part of their engines.
Right.
Right. And they can print them in these pieces and cut the time and cost.
That's
And
amazing.
you're just like, and sometimes I think, like, oh my God, it's 3D printed and it's on an airplane. But they're so smart in the way they do it that they can be more efficient.
Man, be thinking and dreaming about some new technology that you're going to come and, I could say I knew you at least.
Yeah.
Borrow $1 million off you or something. Because, this sounds like some big stuff,
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, great. So what's the name of your company again?
It's Rapid Scan 3D.
Rapid Scan 3D. And how can people get a hold of you if they need to use your services?
Yeah. So our main office is in Lakewood,
Okay.
California, right next to the Long Beach Airport. So you can go on online and just Google Rapid Scan 3D.
Right on.
We have an office there. We'll soon probably have an office here.
Yes.
We're opening up an office in Tampa area, Florida.
Okay.
It's actually in Odessa. So we'll have an office there probably by the end of the year. But yeah, if you reach out to us online, we're on Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the place on the social media side.
There you go.
So
Cris Strong, Rapid Scan, right?
yep, Rapid Scan 3D.
3D. Look them up. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.